Okay, welcome back. So now let's do the same thing with this function here, which is a hyperbolic sine function. And we're going to use one of the common series, Maclaurin series, to do this. But in order to see how that works, we have to know the definition. So again, you may have forgotten, it maybe has been a while, but to dust off the cobwebs, by definition, hyperbolic sine x is equal to e to the x minus e to the negative x over 2. And so we know the function e to the x is represented by this function x to the n over n factorial. Okay, which means that we can represent e to the negative x as the summation of negative x to the n. Over n factorial. Now, if we apply to the numerator, right, so it's this minus this, so it's this minus this, okay, we see that if n is even, then these two are the same and we get 0. If n is odd, then what happens is we get these added together, right? Because then we get the negative of a negative, and we end up with twice this. So if it's even, we end up getting 2 x to the n over n factorial, which then will cancel with the 2 here, right? So in other words, for the even numbered values of n, this is just going to give us a 0 term. It's just going to be 0. Okay, so we're going to have alternating terms that are just zeros. And so the odd terms are going to look like this, but with the 2 here, then the odd terms are basically going to give us this for all the odd terms. So in other words, all we're going to really get when we compress it and get rid of the zeros are just the odd terms. So how do we write the expression of this using the Maclaurin series to give us those odd ones? Well, we're going to have to just change n such that we're only going to get odd values of n. And so the way to do that is to change this to 2n plus 1. And then we'll change this to 2n plus 1. And then what that does is effectively skips the even terms and just gives us the odd terms, which is exactly what we get. So this will actually end up being the summation of x to the 2n plus 1 over uh, 2n plus 1 factorial. And of course, this is from n equals 0 to infinity. And that's going to give us the odd terms. And so the odd terms turn out to be what? It's going to be x plus x cubed over 3 factorial plus x to the 5th over 5 factorial plus, and so on. And that's it. Have a great day.